We also are exploring the quantum dot OLED panel from Samsung. We also have prototypes in-house.
So I visited Abbey Road Studios to take a first look at the Philips OLED+937, OLED+907 and OLED807. I also asked Philips TV some challenging questions, such as full 4K 120Hz resolution for gaming, what they think of QD-OLED, and why the company doesn't sell an OLED TV with its best panel and processing without integrated premium sound.
I'm Danny Tack, Senior Director, Product Strategy and Planning. My main responsibility is to drive the innovation in terms of picture quality, in terms of the display and the picture processing inside our entire Philips TV range.
And would you like to introduce the two TVs behind you?
Yes, on this side we have the OLED807. On this side here we have the OLED+907.
Let's first talk about the 807. What are the key upgrades over last year's 806?
The OLED 807 has a new P5 AI engine with the new ambient intelligence. It also holds the newest OLED AX panel with 1000 nit peak brightness, and it has the new generation Ambilight with the 3 times more resolution.
And what are the key differences between the step-up 907 to the 807 then?
The 907 has even a better OLED AX panel, has the same picture quality engine but a better panel with the special heatsink inside in the back of the panel, driving the panel now to 1300 nit peak light compared to the 807 1000 nit peak light.
Now let's move on to the flagship 937. What are the differences between this flagship TV to the step-down 907 and 807?
The OLED+937 has a better P5 AI engine. It has the dual engine inside. It does 3 things exclusive over the P5 AI single engine. One is the AI Smart Bit Enhancement 2.0. That's to make sure that your bad quality sources have no coding artifacts, no banding. It does better sharpness. It has AI, artificial intelligence, machine learned sharpness inside. It can make the sharpness different on different parts of the picture to really give you a crisp and natural picture. And the third one is generation 2 of perfect natural reality, which means that all your SDR sources you're watching at this TV are brought to a level that is very near to the real HDR. But on top of that, that were the 3 features that already were existing in previous years' dual engine products. We have added one more this year, and that's the advanced HDR tone mapping. Now we are actually not looking anymore to the max CLL value of the movie, of the information inside the HDR content, but we are measuring ourselves real time and optimizing frame by frame the light output of the picture. That gives you always the best between the light in the source versus the light that the OLED display can deliver. Besides that, that same feature, advanced HDR tone mapping, will help you also in HDR sources which are very low graded. Many sources today, HDR sources, are graded at only 300 nit because they will appeal or they will be applicable for the majority of mainstream TVs. But it's of course a shame that when a TV, an OLED TV, they can do 1300 nit peak, and now just has to get as an input a 300 nit graded source. Well, we can expand that to the level of the light output of the OLED panel and give you a much more crisp HDR performance.
Does this introduction of advanced HDR function on the OLED+937 gets away from as intended by the directors or the producers?
No. We have 3 levels there in the advanced HDR tone mapping. One is the minimum level. That's where we follow completely exactly the director's intent. Then we have a medium level, which is going slightly up, but still following the creator intent, but uses much more potential of the display light output of the OLED panel. And there is a maximum level that goes a little bit away from the director intent to make it more crisp, but two of them following the director intent.
That's reassuring to hear. Are there any other new features implemented on the OLED Plus 937 and other of your 2022 OLEDs?
Yes, we also have enhanced our exclusive ambilight with the next generation ambilight, which means that now we have drivers for every single LED in the back of the TV, whereas in the past we had only one driver per 3 LEDs. So now we have 3 times more resolution in the ambilight experience.
In terms of OLED panel, what sort is implemented on the 937?
Well, it's the newest generation OLED X panel from our supplier, but this one comes with an extra heatsink in the back and therefore can drive much more peak light. It can drive 1300 nit peak over compared to the 807, which is 1000, meaning a much brighter picture to give you the real HDR experience.
Talking about supplier, how closely do you work with them? How far in advance do you try and get a preview of what they are offering you in terms of securing the panel and designing your products?
Well, in case of OLED, we usually get an insight on the roadmap from the supplier, and we always get panels, testing the prototypes more than 1 year in advance to do our development work. That's in case of OLED. In case of other parts in our range where we do apply also LCD screens or LED screens, we work with panel suppliers that do supply us with the open cell, that's the glass, and we are adding our cells in Taipei in our development center for every open cell, our own backlights to that, varying in light output from, for the low part of the range, from 300 nit up to 500-600 nit in the high-end part of the range.
So this means that you already know the specifications of next year's TV that is coming out, but presumably you can't tell me and our audience about it.
Exactly. So maybe I can briefly say that we're going to again enhance the light output of the panels, but much more than that I cannot reveal at this moment.
Okay. On the market currently, Samsung Display has come out with QD-OLED, which is another type of panel to compete with LG Display's WRGB OLED. What are your thoughts on it? Have they approached you to try and ask you to buy their QD-OLED panels?
Yes, as we have now been a couple of years in the market with the white OLED panel from LGD and now with the latest OLED X panel, we also are exploring the quantum dot OLED panel from Samsung. We also have prototypes in-house in Ghent in our innovation center, and we are comparing the both with each other, looking to strengths and weaknesses, and we will decide in a later stadium which panel to bring to market in the near future.
Coming back to the twin chip solution, last year there were some issues with 4K 120Hz VRR support in terms of producing full resolution. What is the situation with the 807, 907 and also the 937?
Well, 807 and 907 are single chip solutions, and both can handle the full resolution, the full vertical resolution in case of 4K 120Hz VRR. For the 937 OLED Plus product with the dual chip solution, it's still the same. It will reduce the resolution, the vertical resolution to half. On the other hand, as I already was pointing out, this dual engine has so much better picture quality in terms of sharpness, contrast and coding artifacts over the single chip solution that it really compensates for the loss of resolution in the gaming experience.
Looking at launches of Philips TVs over the years, you always have two launches, one in spring and one later in fall for your flagship sets. Is there any particular reason why you have chosen this sort of launch schedule?
Well, yes, of course, the 937, which is here next to me, is of course a product that has a lot more innovation, a lot more work, and it's basically to also split a bit the work. In the beginning of the year, we do the lower parts of the range, the real high volume runners, and in the second half of the year, we do the products with the real innovation, because that always requires a bit more work than the normal mainstream TV products.
My next question is one that many of my viewers and other potential buyers of your TVs have been asking. Is there any reason why you're not offering your best panel, your best processing, without the sound enclosure, because many of these enthusiasts already have their own sound system?
Well, yes, there is, of course, the reason is range build-up. Usually, the higher you go in the range, the more expensive the product is and the more featuring we are giving. But it is an interesting question you're asking, and in the future we're looking into that, we are considering actually that kind of product.
Now, we have touched on reproducing the creative intent in this video, mostly from the picture point of view. But what about the audio side of things? To explore that, I've done a video on how the Bowers & Wilkins sound system on Philips televisions gets you closer to hearing film scores the way they are recorded, and you can watch the video by clicking here.